Hello everybody and welcome to my newest update of
Continuum Emulator.
For those tuning in late, Continuum is my attempt at a programmable retro computer with its own virtual CPU, with assembly instructions, RAM, dedicated video RAM with up to 8 layers, and a bunch of other cool stuff. And right now, it's only for Windows, but the purpose is to spread it and make it available for Linux, Mac OS, and very much, most important, on quite a number of single board computers such as, well, anything that has Pi in the name, and others through a Linux distribution. Now, why this machine? Why does it exist? Well, to enable anyone to write retro games, in the first place, the way they used to be written on an actual retro machine, be it virtual in this case, but with some modern twists along the way, including eventually the ability to publish your games with your favorite gaming platform. This will not be limited to gaming, but more on that later. So with that intro over, let me quickly get over what we have in this package right here. And this is what it looks like when you download it. So the first thing I want to point out are the manuals, which are in the support folder. And I suggest you start with the user manual, which shows you how to actually use the emulator and, most important, the operating system. That I think that's the most important part right now that has been updated. So you will have just a blinking cursor. I'll show it in a minute, but you also have three big commands that you can use, and you can load some example applications which are in the file system that I'll show you in a second. So then we have the tools manual, which kind of is the big point of this update. It refers to the Dissassembler debugger satellite application that I wrote for Continuum, and that shows you how to use that in tandem with Continuum emulator. And this is the Disassembler. I'll show it again in a minute or so. And these are the steps to make it work on your Windows machine. So then you have some technical references, the assembly reference, which will guide you through all these instructions, which I conveniently put on the cover of this book. You have all these instructions, interrupts, and yeah, whatnot. And you have here the full reference to what each of it does. Again, this is very technical. You'll get to it when you need it. So yeah. And of course the interrupts, which of course they do their own thing, that is to access keyboards, video palette address reading, writing, video stuff, clock, stuff that you usually expect from interrupts. And I think that's about it for the manuals. Now let's see how these two applications, the Continuum 93 and the Continuum Tools, work together. The first thing I'll do, I'll start unintuitively, I'll start the tools. And we can see that we have the disassembler thingy tools on this part on a reddish background with no signal. This means we don't have the emulator running anywhere. So now if we start it, of course, being the first time I run it, I have to allow access. And now these two guys can communicate with each other. So what happens is that this is the emulator, this is the blinking cursor here, and I can type commands which may not be recognized if they're not recognized. So as mentioned in the manual, I can do cat from catalog. So then I can list this stuff which is in the data file system. So whatever you start seeing in the root of the cat is here. So now if I want to list the whatever files I have in the ASM directory, I'll just do this cat ASM, and that will show me the samples that I've given in this package. I've put in this package. So the most interesting and, well, the one that has more work in it and I recommend to start with is the KB scan, which is of course the keyboard scan. And to load it, we'll just use the run command, run asm slash, and because I refresh and I can't see the title, I'll just use this. So kb-scan kb-scan.asm. So what this will do effectively will just load the source file, because this is not an assembly file, a compiled file. It's just a source file. that I'll show you in a second. And this will show you the program, and then when you load it with the run command, it will compile it and automatically put it in the memory and execute it. So if I press enter, there we go, we have our program here. This one basically takes the keys that you press, so I'll start pressing now, and yeah, it kind of shows you how many keys you've pressed simultaneously. It's a nice, interesting application to test your keyboard. Since I'm at this subject, be worried that not all keyboards are the same. You may have one type of keyboard built in your laptop, which, let's say, allows you to press all these arrows at once, but experimentally I've discovered that for some keyboards you can only press like 3 arrows at some point. So if you try to press the 4th, it doesn't register. So this would be a good exercise for you to test and see which keys can be pressed simultaneously if you want to use some weird combinations in your game. Again, I'm saying this stuff in the manuals. Please read the manuals. I'll try to make videos, more tutorial videos, but also manuals contain a lot of this information. So now that we've loaded this interesting program and it's continuously running in the background because it's clearly listening for my keys, we also see here that we have the tools connected because we have this little thing here, but if we close it, it'll just disappear. So now it means we need to open it again as soon as we get to it, and as soon as it's connecting, it'll show tools again here, tools connected again here. And from this point you have to press F5, and that will just get information from the actual emulator. Demos curse. This is the first time I see this bug here with a long line because I haven't loaded this program. So this is a long instruction which probably clears the memory or whatever. So yeah, I need to fix that because the bytes are quite lengthy in their array and they go over this part here. But I'm gonna leave it for now because I don't care. Usually I think there are very few instructions which are this long. So now from this point we have the disassembled program. Exactly, now it froze. Now if I press anything here, nothing will happen because it's in a step-by-step state, which means everything is frozen. We are stuck at before this instruction. It's not yet executed, the interrupt one, which we should look in the manual to see what it does. And to execute a step in the forward direction, we need to press F9. And by pressing F9, we've moved to this next instruction. You can see some illegal instructions here. These are normal. You usually get this when you have some image, some data which isn't instructions, and the emulator knows it's not instructions, cannot be confused with it. So usually you don't get it there. You see, we have a red instruction here, and going to that, of course, that brings us to the discussion about the stacks. We have two types of stacks: the calls stacks, which will return now the address 112D where the instruction pointer will move back to continue execution, and the register stack. Now you can push registers into this stack and it won't offend the calls stack. So these are quite separated in the Continuum architecture. On some other architectures they're joined, but I felt it's better to have it separated on the Continuum. And now to show you the register view, this is the amount of registers that you have. Of course, these are the 8-bit registers. Now you have the combinations. For instance, the C and D can go together like CD with the values 1658, 1658, and then you can have even a third and a fourth. So this is up to 32 bits. You can access them this way, and it's very flexible. And of course, values which were changed from the last iteration will show in orange here. Now we have 256 pages of registers from and to which you can switch with the regs instruction. Please see the manual. So pressing F9 once more will pull this address out of the hat and move us there. 112D, correct 112D, and now it's gone from here. And now assigning this value to BCD will show it here, which was there before, so no apparent change. A is 10, so now we are showing the value here. And I think I pretty much covered everything. I think if we stop the this is a problem. If I stop the tool set, the program will still be frozen in the step-by-step. I didn't fix this for now. The solution is to simply just close the emulator and start it again if needed. And I think this concludes the update that I had for you today. Please, if you have any critique, comments, whatever, just join my website. I also have, I think it's there in the documentation. I also have a forum. If you have questions, if you have, again, something to point out or anything, just use the forums there. Let me know if there's anything, or you can even use the comments in the YouTube video. That's fine. Let me know if there's anything you feel it's wrong, or a bug, or you just like it, or whatever, and I will try and fix any issues you can find. Yeah, so that was it. Enjoy Continuum, and see you on the next update. Bye bye.